Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of silver Kennedy half-dollar coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. Let's start with the 1971 silver Kennedy half-dollar. When you think about American coins that represent both history and legacy, the Kennedy half-dollar always comes to mind. It's a coin that was introduced in the early 1960s, in the wake of President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination. The coin's design and its place in history have made it one of the most recognizable and emotionally charged coins in the U.S. minting series. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was part of the continuation of this coin series that started in 1964, when it was first minted following President Kennedy's assassination. At first, the coin was struck in 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices, the U.S. government switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition for most half-dollars in 1971. However, for collectors, the silver content of the coin continued to hold strong value. By 1971, the Kennedy half-dollar had become a symbol of both the United States' national mourning and its ongoing commitment to honoring the late president. This coin, featuring a prominent profile of President Kennedy on the obverse, was part of a broader effort to create a lasting tribute to the 35th President of the United States. The coin also showcases the legendary Franklin Mint design team led by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse side features the iconic heraldic eagle, symbolizing the strength and unity of the country. The 1971 silver Kennedy half-dollar was produced with a large date, distinguishing it from the other years in which smaller dates were used. This design feature is one of the reasons why the 1971 large date version is so highly valued by collectors today. While the mintage of this coin was quite large, this version, in particular, stands out due to its relatively lower availability in excellent condition. Many of the coins that entered circulation were worn down significantly, which brings us to the key point of its value in the current auction market. As mentioned earlier, the design features of this coin are of paramount importance. The obverse shows a profile of John F. Kennedy, which was based on the famous portrait by sculptor Daniel Chester French. The reverse features the traditional heraldic eagle, which, like the obverse design, was created by Frank Gasparo. This reverse design symbolizes the strength and unity of the U.S., adding to the coin's patriotic and commemorative appeal. The coin itself is composed of 40% silver, making it slightly different from the earlier 90% silver coins. The silver content is an important factor in its value, as collectors and investors alike look to acquire these coins for their precious metal value. In fact, as silver prices fluctuate, the melt value of these coins can sometimes exceed their face value, which makes them a popular choice among investors looking to hedge against inflation. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was minted in massive quantities, with over 100 million coins produced in total. However, the silver content and the large date version have made the coin more attractive to collectors, driving up its demand. When we look at the current auction market, we can see that the coin's value fluctuates based on its condition. In good condition, the value of this coin typically ranges between $8 to $15. While this may not seem like a huge sum, considering the coin's widespread availability, the rarity and collector interest for coins in better condition can see the price escalate significantly. A coin that is in good condition means there are signs of wear, such as smoothness on the design and slight rounding of the edges. These coins are typically found in circulation or have been in circulation for many years. If we take a closer look at the higher mint conditions such as fine, very fine, or even MS, 65, or higher, the value can rise dramatically, sometimes even exceeding $30,400 in certain cases. Coins in these grades are much rarer, as many of the 1971 coins were heavily circulated. Like many coins, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar can also contain a number of rare errors that increase its value exponentially. Some of the most famous errors for this coin include double-die obverses, where the details on the obverse of the coin appear to be doubled. These errors are highly coveted by collectors because they are extremely rare and add to the coin's historical significance. Any kind of misstrike or defect can send a coin into the category of ultra-rare, and prices can skyrocket. For collectors, finding a 1971 silver Kennedy half dollar in mint condition with a noticeable error can result in a huge profit. This makes the coin highly desirable not just for its historical significance, but also for its potential to hold an error that boosts its worth. Next up, we have the Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, minted in 1976 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This coin is particularly interesting because, unlike other Kennedy half dollars, it was designed with a unique reverse to mark the country's bicentennial. The Bicentennial of 1776 was an event of great national pride and significance, and the U.S. Mint wanted to create a coin that would commemorate this momentous occasion. The Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar features a special reverse design, a colonial drummer, symbolizing the patriotic spirit of the time, and a 1776 to 1976 inscription marking the 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Unlike other years, this coin was produced in a special bicentennial series, which included not only the half dollar, but also the quarter and dollar coins. The reverse design was selected after a public competition and became iconic, capturing the essence of America's founding era. The obverse of the coin retained the familiar portrait of President Kennedy, unchanged from earlier issues. On the obverse of the 1976 Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, we find the classic portrait of John F. Kennedy by Gilroy Roberts, but the reverse is where the significant change is found. The reverse of this coin features a drum, along with the inscription 1776 to 1976, celebrating the nation's independence and the legacy of the Revolution. The design was created by Jack L. R., a member of the U.S. Mint's design team. The coin was minted in 40% silver, similar to the 1971 coin, making it part of the limited run of silver coins issued for this important national celebration. The silver content is what continues to make these coins desirable among collectors, along with the unique bicentennial reverse design. The Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar was minted in large quantities with more than 177 million coins produced. However, the limited supply of coins in high grades and the special reverse design have made this coin extremely desirable, especially among those looking to celebrate the nation's historical milestones. In fine condition, this coin is typically worth between $28,300 depending on the market at the time. Much like the 1971 Kennedy half dollar, the value of the Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar increases when the coin is found in better grades. For coins in extra fine or uncirculated condition, collectors may pay upwards of $30,500. There are a few known error types for this coin, including double die obverses or reverse, which can significantly increase its value. Some other minor errors, such as poor strikes, can also make the coin more valuable to collectors. These types of errors are much rarer, but are especially sought after by collectors who are looking for a unique addition to their collection. The Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar holds a special place in American numismatic history due to its dual significance. It commemorates both the legacy of President Kennedy and the United States bicentennial celebration. Coins in fine or better condition can fetch significant amounts at auction, especially if they feature any noteworthy errors or were kept in pristine condition. Next up, the 1983 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark is an intriguing coin. It's part of the Bicentennial issue series, which celebrated the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. These coins are not only a key piece of American history, but are also incredibly valuable in today's market, especially in higher grade conditions like fine. The Kennedy half dollar itself was introduced in 1964, just after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin features a portrait of Kennedy on the obverse, designed by sculptor Gilroy Roberts, and a rendition of the presidential seal on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. The series became an essential part of American currency during the mid-20th century and remains iconic. The 1983 Kennedy half dollar was produced as part of regular coinage by the United States Mint. The mint marks, including the D mint mark, refer to coins struck at the Denver Mint. The Kennedy half dollar was initially produced to replace the Franklin half dollar, a coin that had grown outdated in public use. However, with the introduction of the Bicentennial series, the Kennedy half dollar became a symbol of the country's transition from a turbulent political era to a new chapter of American pride. The Kennedy half dollar was struck in a mixture of 90% silver and 10% copper in earlier years. However, by the 1980s, the mint transitioned to a clad composition, meaning the coin now consists of a core of copper-nickel with a copper-nickel outer layer, marking a significant change from its earlier versions. In 1983, there was a substantial mintage of the Kennedy half dollar. However, it is worth noting that the coin's clad composition and standard design led to its lower face value, which made it more of a circulating coin than a collector's item in its original state. However, certain versions, especially those in higher grades like fine or better, have gained tremendous collector interest. One thing that stands out about the 1983 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark is that it is rarer in certain conditions. Coins in fine condition are not as easy to come by, and with a growing demand for silver coins and Kennedy memorabilia, these coins are starting to fetch increasing amounts at auction. A coin that was once worth just 50 cents now carries much more value, especially in fine or higher grades. Recent auctions have shown 1983 Kennedy half dollars with the D mint mark fetching anywhere from $56,000 depending on their condition. However, coins with specific features such as error types, especially double-die varieties, can push values even higher, often reaching $59,300 or more in premium markets. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of John F. Kennedy, which remains one of the most iconic images on American currency. Kennedy's face is shown in profile, accompanied by the words, "Liberty," and "In God We Trust." The reverse displays the presidential seal, with an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows. For collectors, the D mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, adding a level of distinction. The coin's design has remained remarkably consistent since its introduction in the 1960s, which only adds to its appeal for those seeking continuity in American coinage. While the standard 1983 D Kennedy half dollar is relatively common in circulation, error coins such as double die, obverse, or reverse errors tend to command higher premiums. These mistakes, caused during the minting process, make certain coins highly desirable for error enthusiasts. These coins can fetch a premium anywhere from $100,000 to several $100s, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Many collectors focus not just on the historical significance of the coin, but also on the rarity and condition. Over time, coins like the 1983 Kennedy half dollar have seen increased value due to both their historical connection to the late 20th century and their enduring place in American numismatics. Next up, we dive into the 1988 Kennedy half dollar with a P error mint mark. The 1988 issue is particularly interesting due to the error mint mark, which is rare and makes this coin a collector's dream. Let's take a closer look at why this specific coin is so valuable in today's market. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. By 1988, the coin had become a well-established part of American coinage, continuing to be used for both regular circulation and collectors. The 1988 coin was part of the regular minting process, struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, designated with a P mint mark, and the Denver Mint with a D. However, one of the most exciting features about the 1988 Kennedy half dollar is the P error mint mark, which occurred due to a mistake during the minting process. Mint marks are essential to determining where the coin was struck, and for the 1988 series, coins minted in Philadelphia should have had no mint mark at all. But a few coins were mistakenly stamped with a P mint mark, a rare error that makes them particularly sought after by collectors. The 1988 Kennedy half dollar with the P error is relatively rare in terms of the total number of coins produced. This error occurred during a time when the United States Mint was still working to keep up with the high demand for coinage. As a result, even though the 1988 series had a high mintage, only a small portion of these coins were affected by the P error, making them extremely valuable today. In fine condition, these coins can be worth anywhere from $50,000 or more, depending on the exact grade, with coins in better condition fetching even higher prices. It's important to note that the rarity of the error and the demand for Kennedy half dollars have made the 1988 P Mint error a sought-after coin among collectors. The design of the 1988 coin remains the same as earlier issues. The obverse of the coin still features President John F. Kennedy with the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of mintage, 1988. The reverse features the presidential seal, showcasing an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, with the words, "United States of America" and half dollar. However, what truly distinguishes this coin from others is the P error mint mark, which was accidentally struck on coins that were supposed to have no mint mark at all. The P mint mark is typically associated with coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and in this case, its presence makes this coin rare and valuable. Error coins are one of the most fascinating areas of numismatics. The 1988 P error, Kennedy half dollar, is considered one of the most desirable error coins due to its rarity. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to these types of coins for their unique qualities, and this coin's market value has seen an increase in recent years. Auction prices for 1988. Kennedy half dollar P error coins are increasing, especially among those who specialize in rare mint errors. In addition to the error mark itself, coins that are in fine condition are more valuable because they represent a higher grade of preservation, which is crucial for collectors seeking to add rare, pristine pieces to their collections. Next up, the 1985 Kennedy half dollar is one of the lesser discussed yet highly coveted pieces in the world of numismatics. By this time, the Kennedy half dollar had been circulating for over 2 decades, following its introduction in 1964 after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Initially minted in 90% silver, the coin's composition changed over the years due to rising silver prices, with the later coins in the series being composed of a copper-nickel blend, with a layer of 40% silver only found in coins minted between 1965 and 1970. By the 1980s, the U.S. Mint had shifted the focus of the Kennedy half dollar away from general circulation, and it was primarily being produced for collectors. The 1985 half dollar is particularly noteworthy for collectors because of the large date variety, where the digits in the date are noticeably larger compared to previous years. This specific version, with the D mint mark, minted in Denver, remains one of the most prized among modern Kennedy half dollar coins. The obverse of the 1985 silver Kennedy half dollar features a classic image of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The design captures Kennedy's youthful, determined look and was created from a photograph taken shortly after his inauguration. Surrounding his portrait is the inscription, "Liberty," at the top, "In God we trust," at the bottom, and the year of mintage, 1985. The D mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint, is located just beneath the eagle's tail feathers, ensuring collectors can easily identify its origin. The total mintage of the 1985 Kennedy half dollar, both in copper, nickel, and silver compositions, reached several million, with the silver variant being produced in far fewer quantities. However, despite the relatively high mintage, the coin is still considered valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. The uncirculated versions of these coins are of particular interest, as they were specially produced for collectors and have been stored in pristine conditions. Over time, their market value has appreciated due to their uncirculated quality, scarcity in such conditions, and increasing demand among collectors. As of today, the 1985 silver Kennedy half dollar, in uncirculated condition with the D mint mark, has become quite valuable in the numismatic market. Prices vary based on the grade and condition of the coin, but high-grade pieces can fetch anywhere from $50,000 or more, depending on auction conditions and collector demand. In recent years, some auction prices have surged, with particularly well-preserved examples of the coin selling for up to $53,000 in specialized auctions. The appeal of the 1985 Kennedy half dollar is rooted in its relatively low mintage, its status as part of the silver composition period, even if it's just 40% silver, and the collector interest in the large date variety. Collectors of the 1985 Kennedy half dollar should also be on the lookout for various errors that have been spotted in the mintage process. These errors include double die strikes, off-center minting, and die cracks, which can increase the value of a coin significantly. For example, a double die obverse error on a 1985 Kennedy half-dollar could command a premium at auction, with values reaching several $100s depending on the severity of the error. Some collectors also seek out coins that exhibit die rotation or slightly misaligned strikes, adding another layer of interest to this particular issue of the Kennedy half-dollar. The 1985 silver Kennedy half-dollar, especially in uncirculated condition, holds strong collector interest due to its connection to the legacy of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was produced during a time when Kennedy's influence was still strongly felt in American politics and culture, which makes it a symbol of that era. Additionally, because the U.S. Mint had significantly reduced production of half-dollars for circulation by the 1980s, many of these coins were only available to collectors. This scarcity has contributed to the coin's growing value and appeal among numismatists, who see it as a meaningful piece of history. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar holds a unique place in U.S. numismatics. The series, which was introduced just a decade earlier in 1964, following President Kennedy's tragic assassination, had gone through a series of transformations. Originally produced in 90% silver, the Kennedy half-dollar transitioned to a 40% silver composition in 1965 due to rising silver prices. By the time 1974 rolled around, the United States was experiencing economic turbulence, including inflation and energy crises. The Kennedy half-dollar was primarily produced for collectors and didn't see widespread circulation. This shift meant that coins like the 1974 were often kept in mint sets or proof sets, and their circulation was limited. As a result, many 1974 Kennedy half-dollars are relatively well preserved, making them an attractive find for collectors today. The 1974 large date variety is especially interesting because of the distinct design feature of the larger digits in the year 1974. This version stands out compared to other years in the series, where the digits are smaller and more compact. Just like the 1985 coin, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar features a profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, created by Gilroy Roberts. The design is dignified, capturing Kennedy's features and providing a lasting image of one of America's most beloved presidents. Unlike the 1985 variant, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark. This absence makes it slightly rarer compared to its counterparts minted in Denver, which carry the D mint mark. The mintage of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was substantial, though it primarily went into mint sets and was not heavily circulated. The total mintage was over 50 million coins, but due to the popularity of these sets among collectors, many of them were stored and kept in pristine condition. As a result, high-quality examples of the coin are still available for sale today. Though the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar with the large date design is abundant, coins without the mint mark, produced in Philadelphia, are in demand. However, because the coin wasn't circulated widely, it is still considered valuable in higher grades, particularly for collectors seeking a piece of this specific year. In terms of value, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, particularly in fine condition, can still be worth anywhere from $32,500. Prices vary based on the coin's condition, and higher-grade examples can fetch prices closer to $29,000. The market for these coins is influenced by a combination of factors, including the popularity of the Kennedy half-dollar series, the collector demand for silver coins, and the limited number of coins available in certain grades. As with any popular coin series, there are varieties and errors that can increase the value of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar. The most common error is the double die obverse, where the date or other design elements appear to be struck twice, creating a blurry effect. These errors can fetch higher prices depending on their severity and the overall condition of the coin. Other less common errors, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, can also make the 1974 coin more valuable. However, these errors are relatively rare, and most 1974 coins are found in their regular, unaltered condition. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar is a significant coin for collectors because it marks an era of transition for U.S. coinage. The absence of a mint mark adds a layer of intrigue, as it ties the coin directly to the Philadelphia Mint. Additionally, its historical connection to the era of President Kennedy keeps it relevant in modern numismatics. For collectors looking for well-preserved pieces or those interested in collecting a variety of Kennedy half dollars, the 1974 large date without a mint mark is an attractive option. Its value has steadily increased, and as more collectors look to complete their sets, the demand for this particular coin will likely continue to rise. Next up, USA Silver Kennedy half dollar 1972. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The U.S. Mint wanted to create a coin that would honor the late president's legacy and contribute to his memory. Initially, the Kennedy half dollar was minted in 90% silver, but by 1971, silver prices had soared, leading to a shift in the composition of the coin to 40% silver. This transition made coins from the 1970s highly significant for collectors today, especially when looking at pieces like the 1972 large-date Kennedy half dollar. In 1972, the U.S. Mint produced two types of Kennedy half dollars: the small date and the large date. The large date variety, in particular, is more desirable among collectors, with a noticeable difference in the size of the numerals on the date. These coins were struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, making them even more collectible. The 1972 large date with D Mint mark is known for its sharp design features, and its place in history makes it highly sought after. When it comes to the coin's design, it features the iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, a Mint chief engraver. This is paired with a reverse featuring a large eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, designed by Frank Gasparo, symbolizing peace and strength. It's a beautiful representation of America's spirit during a turbulent time in history. In terms of mintage, the 1972 large date Kennedy half dollar with the D Mint mark is relatively common. However, what sets it apart in the marketplace today is its condition and the level of interest it has generated over time. The mintage of the 1972 large date D Mint coin was substantial. About 119 million pieces were made, making it far from rare in terms of production numbers. However, it's important to note that the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins in fine condition, which is the focus of this video, are more valuable than those in lower grades. A 1972 large date Kennedy half dollar in fine condition typically exhibits visible wear on the high points of the design, but the overall features remain distinct. Despite its relatively high mintage, coins in fine condition, especially those with the D Mint mark, have seen steady increases in value, and this trend has been supported by a growing interest in both silver coins and Kennedy collectibles. At auction, a 1972 large date with D Mint mark in fine condition can fetch anywhere between $15 to $25, depending on factors like the quality of the strike, wear, and demand from collectors. The fact that it's a silver coin and has historical significance related to JFK's legacy contributes to its long-term appeal. The design of the 1972 large date Kennedy half dollar is one of the most notable aspects of its allure. The obverse, as mentioned earlier, features President John F. Kennedy's portrait. Over time, the design has gained a reputation for its stunning details and likeness to the late president, which has only increased its desirability. While the 1972 large date Kennedy half dollar is relatively straightforward in terms of design, it is worth mentioning that there are certain varieties and errors that have piqued the interest of collectors. Some coins may exhibit die cracks, doubling, or other minor imperfections that add uniqueness and value to the piece. However, collectors should be careful when looking for errors because many perceived errors are simply common variations that don't necessarily increase the value of the coin. The large size of the date in the 1972 large date is a defining feature that differentiates it from the small date variety, making it easy for collectors to identify. As a result, the coin is often in high demand among collectors of both the Kennedy half-dollar series, and silver coins in general. Because of its historical relevance, the Kennedy half-dollar is a coin that appeals not only to numismatists, but also to those with an interest in U.S. history. As we look at this coin's market value and popularity, the 1972 large date with the D mint mark stands out as a piece that has maintained steady demand due to its beauty, its connection to the Kennedy era, and the increasing interest in U.S. silver coins. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures.